Hey guys, it is the 26th on a Tuesday, and today our instructor told us to learn or to talk about all four primary tissue types, which are epithelial, connective, muscle, and the nervous tissue. So let's go. I did look some of this up to remember it and write it down. But the four types are the epithelial, connective, muscle, and nervous tissues. The epithelial tissue forms the protective lining and covers surfaces such as the skin and the lining of the digestive tract. So it kind of keeps us safe from the chemicals in our body and basically making sure that everything that goes in is okay and safe and doesn't let us get harmed by chemicals that are in our food. Make sure we're okay, that kind of stuff. And covers surfaces such as the skin and the lining of the digestive tract. Connective tissue supports and binds structures like the bone, the fat, the blood, and the tendon. Muscle tissue contracts to produce movement, existing as skeletal, smooth, and cardiac muscles. Nervous tissue, found in the brain, spinal cord, and the nerves, transmits electrical signals to coordinate the body's function. So, to dive deeper into that, as was listed in the assignment. So, the function of the epithelial tissue would be to cover the body's surfaces, lines the internal organs and cavities, and forms glands, which glands help us create multiple things in our body. We have sweat glands, we have other glands. An example of this is the epidermis of the skin, the lining of the digestive tract, and the lining of the blood vessels, which is the endothelium. And also it would keep it safe by, when people cut themselves on the epidermis, it's not super, super deep, so there's not as much harm done to the body. And it doesn't... Thought I would make it super fun with my crown. There's not so much harm done to the body, whereas if you take a chainsaw to the arm, you're cutting past the epidermis into the muscle, possibly into the bone, into the veins, nerves, and a lot of tissues, so you wouldn't have the same chance of recovering as if you just, let's say, get a paper cut. The connective tissue, the function of it supports, connects, and binds other tissues, providing structural support and protection. So with connective tissue, if you have tissue A with tissue B and they're connected, there's more support because there's a connection between the two, versus if you just have one bit of thin tissue and it gets harmed or hurt or something like that, you're going to have more chance of harming the tissue and not having regrowth, not being able to fix it as easily. The bone, cartilage, fat tissue, blood, and tendons are examples of connective tissue. So our bones have connective tissue between them that holds them together, whereas when you break a bone, sometimes you can, not really rip apart, but I'm sure everybody's heard of ripping tendons, ripping into tissue, stuff like that. It takes longer to heal because that stuff is deeper. With the muscle tissue, the function is it responds to stimulation by contracting, which provides movement to generate heat. And with a lot of muscles, as you move, you notice that you sweat more because it's burning through, calories and different things in your body. But it also generates heat in your body, which can be good, but it also can be bad because if you get a really, really bad fever, there's so much heat going on. It's trying to fight what could be harming you, but sometimes it gets overwhelming, which can lead to inflammation and tons of other stuff. The skeletal muscle is attached to the bone, enabling voluntary movement, which is like your fingers are part of your skeletal muscle. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk today. I don't even know why. We have voluntary movement. Things that don't involuntarily move would be things like your skull. We can't just move our skull around because it's one big thing. Smooth muscles are found in the walls of internal organs like the stomach. So we have like the small digestive tract, the liver, the kidneys are around it, our appendix, things like that. The cardiac muscles are located in the heart, which is super interesting. Those are types and examples of the muscle tissue. The nervous tissue, the function of it detects and coordinates information by transmitting electrical and chemical signals throughout the body. Examples of that are neurons, which make up our brain, spinal cord, and nerves. So a good example of that would be if you sever a nerve or if you pinch a nerve, you're going to feel it. And it can have short-term damage, but if it's a very deep, really bad kind of damage to a nerve, it can be permanent, which is not good. Let's see, what else was there? Okay. Roles and functions, key features. Bone and blood and lymph. There's some stuff that I didn't take note of in here, so I'm a little behind. All four primary. Okay. I guess I should have taken more notes. Let's see. Give me a second to go through my notes. I guess that's it. So, I hope that was wonderful for you, as wonderful for me, as it was wonderful for me. Good luck.